A Freezing Christmas by Chloe Robicheaux. Warner Girls Leadership Academy, 6th grade. The year is 1994. The year Netscape Navigator became the market leader. South Africa held its first multiracial election, and NASA's STS-62 took place. In this same year, a young boy named Jack lives with his grandparents. Jack didn't have any friends at school or in his neighborhood. Jack never belonged to society. He never stayed after school for extracurricular activities. He did not take part in events at the neighborhood rec, nor did he join youth groups at church. But he just knew that this Christmas would change his life. Jack wishes for a lot of snow this Christmas. Jack had wished for a lot for Christmas because he loves snow and winter, because he loves freezing weather. The day was Christmas Eve. Jack was excited to get presents for Christmas, but the most important present that he wished to get was snow. Jack was looking up at the starry night sky, and he saw a shooting star. Jack wished for snow, and then he fell asleep. The next day it is Christmas morning, and he is excited to unwrap his presents that his grandparents had gotten him. Jack looks outside and notices something very unexpected. Outside, there was 25 feet of snow. He said to his grandparents that this was the best Christmas ever. Jack was incredibly happy because he got what he wished for. Jack then unwrapped his presents and was even more excited because he got a red toy car, and he thought it was cool. After he'd finished unwrapping his presents, he wanted to go outside. So Jack had opened the door, and then a bunch of snow was in front of him, and it covered the whole door. Jack walked through the snow, and it felt like a whole different world. He then woke up to the freezing air and found out that he wasn't at home anymore. It wasn't a dream, though. He could touch the snow. Jack found himself in a snowy and foggy place. Jack couldn't see or breathe. He was walking for miles, and then he saw something familiar. He started running towards it, and it was his red toy car. Jack realized it really wasn't a dream. Jack then grabbed it and started walking again. Jack had been walking for what felt like years, but then he had thought of an idea. Jack then started clawing at the ground, trying to find a way out. But the more he dug, there were layers of ice, and he couldn't get out. Jack gave up and just stopped in his tracks and sat down. He just sat there waiting for something to happen. The year is now 2022. Jack wakes up. He is still a child. He looks around. He sees himself in a type of lab. Jack then gets up and sees lab scientists. He asks them where he is, and they start screaming in excitement. Jack is confused, and they start running tests on him. A scientist comes up to him and says, "You were frozen for almost 3 decades." Jack was very confused and didn't believe them. The scientist said he found out his grandparents passed away. Jack was incredibly angry and sad. Then he started crying, and the room turned freezing cold. As Jack got more emotional, ice started coming out of the ground, and the scientists called security because they thought Jack was going to attack them. Jack then lost control and made the room a blizzard, and they pressed the alarm button. Jack then put his hand out, and he sent icicles toward the security, but they dodged it. Jack then makes the room snowy and foggy so he can get away. Jack had finally got out and saw that it was snowing outside. He then started walking and saw a city. Jack saw the decorations and saw that it was Christmas. He goes towards the city and starts to feel incredibly angry that he has missed all this for decades and that his grandparents died without seeing them before they died. Jack makes the snow coming down worse, and it starts hailing and blizzarding. People start going inside, but Jack doesn't want them to leave, so he makes ice come out of the ground and blocks the area where he is, so people won't get out. Then he starts to injure people because he is so angry. Then he makes a big ice dome so he can be in it. Then he sees a kid, and he realizes that he injured his parents. Jack feels bad, but he doesn't let them go free. The police are breaking the walls down, but Jack didn't notice that because he was thinking about what to do with the other kid. Then after a while, the police broke down the walls. Jack attacked them, but an officer went behind Jack and arrested him. Jack says that he will break free and take revenge on Christmas next year.